You know, fam, out of all the monsters we've faced here on the channel, zombies have got to be the easiest ones to survive. Like, I'm sorry, but an even dumber version of my neighbor who can't do anything besides try to bite me, yeah, I'm smacking dude up, no problemo. But this family, you guys, these peeps actually make the zombies look smart. So when Grandpa accidentally goes all World War Z up in this bitch, it's honestly embarrassing how fast they start dropping off. But you already know I'm surviving this one easy street, so I'm here to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the zombie potion in the Elixir. So it all starts on a normal day somewhere in Indonesia, where this girl Ningsi is serving up drinks at a family party. But what she doesn't know is that every single one of them is about to become a damn flesh-eating zombie. That's when her boyfriend Ram shows up, but our girl is not too happy to see him. Apparently she's been waiting for him to propose, but the dude still hasn't popped the question. Like, come on, bruh. Well, he's finally about to do it when his boss calls and says that he needs to get back to work, so he hides the ring and dips out on his motorcycle. But my boy might never get the chance because out of absolutely freaking nowhere, a car comes speeding down the road and crashes straight through everything like in GTA. The family is obviously pissed, and one dude walks over to give this guy the hands, but that was his biggest mistake. Because when he opens the door, he sees the guy just tweaking out behind the wheel, and this dummy just stands there like, what? That's when all of a sudden the guy tackles him into the grass and takes a bite out of Buddy's neck, because he ain't just a bad driver, he's actually a zombie. Alright, now this might be the first time that I've ever seen a zombie do a drive-by. I mean, Buddy just crashed straight through the party like an old lady trying to find a parking spot. And my boy with the fancy drip got murked before he even knew what hit him. But you know, hey, I'm gonna be honest. Dude should have known this guy was a zombie as soon as he opened the door. Like, bro, you can't tell me the signs weren't there. Dude's been bleeding from his eyes and going all 28 days later up in this bitch. And your genuine reaction is to just stand there like a glitched NPC? Nah, I know a zombie when I see one, and if it was me, I'ma just close the fucking door before Buddy turns me into some cold cuts. See, it's that easy. Like, honestly, there are some monsters out there that actually scare me, like aliens, or a giant kaiju, or that freaking mummy from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yeah. But zombies are easy money because I've already been training for this shit my whole life. Like, I've been playing Resident Evil, Left 4 Dead, Dead Rising, Dying Light, Call of Duty, you name it. It's got zombies in it. I've been there. I've done that. I got the t-shirt. I mean, I even used to wish there would actually be a zombie apocalypse just so I wouldn't have to go to algebra. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty much prepared. And you guys should be too. And the way that I see it, we have two approaches here. First thing I'm gonna be thinking is to just use these other people as meat shields and dip up out of there before things get any worse. I mean, everyone else is probably gonna freeze up and panic. So while they're busy getting smoked I'm gonna just hop on one of these scooters or start running like I'm a track star until I find somewhere to post up. And low-key, I'm gonna be happy I got to leave the party early and get back on the game. But otherwise, everyone's gotta work together to take these dudes out. But as long as we don't have too many bots on our team, that shouldn't be too hard. All we gotta do is go for a headshot and burn the bodies just to be safe, but these idiots look like they never stood a chance. Now you're probably wondering, where did all these zombies even come from? Well, it all started about 5 hours ago at a fancy crib a few miles up the street. That's where we find this rich dude, Sadamin, who owns a massive herbal medicine company, and they've just finished cooking up some of that new anti-aging juice. So he decides to try a sample for himself, and when he looks in the mirror, he's amazed to see that he already looks 30 years younger. Now, I can understand why bro would be excited, like he just went from getting a senior discount back to needing his ID. But he wouldn't be so happy if he knew what's coming next. So the old man calls his daughter Nez and her husband Rudy over to talk some biz, and they're all fully expecting him to sell the company, but boy are they surprised when he decides to change his mind. Now that he knows that the youth serum works, he thinks it's gonna save the business, but Nez is furious because she needs the cash for her divorce after catching Rudy with another lady. And on top of that, the old man's wife, Karina, is actually her ex-best friend. Apparently, they got together after her mom passed away, but yeah, I can see why she's ready to crash out, and Pops gets so angry that he rips up the contract, but then suddenly he falls to the ground and starts coughing up blood. Horrified, a few of them run to get help while the others start trying to call an ambulance, but then a few seconds later, the OG gets back up and starts snapping at them like an angry poodle. He's about to go after the family when this one dude walks in at the worst possible moment and gets his frickin' neck ripped out before he even knows what hit him. That's when the dude from the very beginning of the movie shows up, but Pops tackles him and starts spitting blood all over his face. This guy's son, Bong, tries to help, but the old man takes him down and starts trying to bite him too, until all of a sudden, this dude's crossbow accidentally goes off and puts an arrow straight through the dome. Alright, well damn, I guess this family reunion just turned into a funeral. Now, Bang's probably feeling pretty bad about what just happened, but honestly, putting the OG down for a dirt nap was probably the best thing he could have done. Like, it's gotta be pretty traumatic having to pack up the old man. But when dude's running around biting your neck and cashing checks, there's only one thing you can do, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even feeling bad for bro, because he's the one who started this whole problem in the first place. Like, I don't know what Buddy told his people to put in this stuff, but it obviously wasn't ready for the fucking CEO to test it out. I mean, that's exactly what got the Green Goblin in trouble back in '02. And what's the point of owning the company if you aren't using unpaid interns to test your shit? Buddy's already sitting pretty with a big house and a fat bank account, so why even take the risk of drinking something when you don't even know what it does? I mean, how does this stuff even work anyways? And if he drinks too much, will he just go back to being a baby? I've got some questions here, so for me personally, I'ma always sit back and let somebody else try it out first. But his kids must not be very smart either, because after Buddy got back up and started biting people, yeah, that's a zombie. Like, what more do you need to see? And unless they've been living under a rock, they should already know that the only way to stop a zombie is boom, headshot. So this should be light work. Now I can understand why they would hesitate, like, that's Pops, yo, but once somebody turns into a zombie, taking them out is the best thing you can do. So the minute I saw this dude get up and start chomping on neckies, I'd grab any random object that I could find and just go straight for the noggin. But maybe they wanted to keep him alive in case there turned out to be a cure. Well, I'd say that's a pretty bad idea. But sure, why not? What I'm gonna do then is find a trash can or a giant vase to stick over his head, then wrap him up with some curtains and bed sheets, tie him up with a rope and call it a day. But personally, get it over with and deal with the trauma later. So as the family's trying to figure out what the just happened, they end up sending this dude Aris to get some help. But we already know my boy's headed straight for the drive-thru, if you know what I mean. So it looks like these folks are on their own. But now we got Bong feeling all sad after headshotting his old man. So Nez goes over to keep him company. I mean, he's feeling all guilty after what happened, and to be fair, it's probably pretty traumatizing. Like, bruh, he was literally trying to turn your neck into a Slim Jim, though, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, meanwhile, back inside, the housekeeper says that there's another man down, but they hear a bunch of stuff crash to the ground, and uh-oh, here comes my boy looking like he needs a shower and a cup of coffee, because damn. Rudy tells the housekeeper to be careful as he starts backing up and using her as a meat shield until suddenly the dude comes charging straight for them and knocks Carr onto the kitchen table. But she uses that move that we all did as kids where you just start kicking them in the face, and actually it works. But then another NPC shows up out of nowhere and the zombie dude immediately starts giving her the evil hickey. Outside, Nez spots some lady chowing down on a dude's jugular and decides to go check it out. Like, I thought it was pretty damn obvious that they were zombies by now, but nope, she's all like, hey, do you need any help? Until the lady gets up and starts charging straight for her. Then Bong just freaking throws it in reverse and turns her legs into hamburger meat. Now, things are already getting pretty hectic back at the function, so Carr and the others decide that it's time to dip out the back. But they still got this freaky-ass dude chasing them down, and by the time the other two get inside, everything's all broken and covered in blood like a bunch of vampires threw a rave at their crib. The place seems empty until out of nowhere a zombie shows up and chases them back outside, so they dip back to the car and go look for the others. But when they get there, Nez realizes that the lady they ran over is gone. All of a sudden, they see the top half of her body crawling towards them like something out of Call of Duty Zombies, but Bong just soccer kicks this freak as soon as she gets close, and they both speed away with the zombies chasing them down. Alright, now, this is where we're seeing the fam make their first big mistake. So you probably think of a zombies coming after you that you want to do the dash, right? But that's why you're already cooked, because that's actually the exact opposite of what I'd be doing right now, so just hear me out. I said I've been training my whole life to fight zombies, but I damn sure ain't about to run more than a few miles if I don't have to. And then we got little Ray Ray over here, like, realistically, what are we even gonna do with Bruh? Like, he ain't keeping up on his own, and I'm not trying to carry dude all around the block, so we're either gonna need a whip or another strat. And when you think about it, where are you actually gonna go? Because if you make it to town with a zombie chasing after you, well, then you just got more zombies. So better luck next time, buddy. But me? Yeah, I know exactly what to do here. So peep game, right? Because instead of running away, I'm gonna just stay right here at the cribbo. I mean, think about it. They got this baller spot out in the middle of nowhere with all the food, supplies, and burners that they need to survive just about anything. Yeah, I didn't mention that old Bang Bang's packing more heat than John Wick. He's got revolvers, Glocks, AKs, M4s. I mean, he's probably got a rocket launcher up in this bitch. So, yeah, once we get our hands on some blickies, this should be easy. So here's the plan. First, we got to get up in Bang's room and make sure that everybody in the family is strapped up. Then we're gonna need to take some magazines, newspapers, or even bed sheets and wrap them around our arms and legs, World War Z style, to protect us from bites. And after seeing what happened to the dude they sent for help, you also gotta make sure you don't get any zombie blood in your mouth. But this is an easy one as well. We don't need anything too fancy. I'm just gonna wrap a couple t-shirts over my face and put on some sunglasses or swim goggles and just go through the house murking these zombies without having to worry. See? Easy. Now, if I've been counting right, there should be only about 4 or 5 of them around, so clearing them out should be a piece of cake. Then I would just board the place up, kick back at the crib, and wait for all this to blow over. And honestly, that sounds like a pretty good time if you ask me. Hey, but low-key though, who needs this sketchy potion that might turn you into a zombie when you can get your hands on real Elixir, today's sponsor, AG1. Yeah, for those of you in the dark, AG1 is the daily health drink that combines your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, antioxidants into one scoop. That's right, one scoop! Look, as we slide into the fall, it becomes easier and easier to lose our routines. Between traveling for the holidays and family gatherings, you simply might not have time to take care of yourself the way you want to, which is where AG1 comes in. The ingredients help supplement your immune system and deliver you the nutrients and energy you need to stay balanced during the busiest time of the year. Now, you guys know me, between taking care of Kilo and running the show, I barely have any time to myself, and with the holidays coming up, I was kinda stressing about keeping my routine up. And now I don't have to, because having AG1 first thing before I come to the studio each day sets me up with the energy for a solid day of recording. AG1 is loaded with all the good stuff. AG1. Oh yeah, that's real. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You guys have to try it. So head to the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to claim your free welcome pack with a bottle of vitamin D3 K2, a shaker bottle, and a sample pack of all 3 new AG1 flavors: original, citrus, berry, and tropical, which is my personal favorite. I hope you guys can check it out. And now back to the show. Now back with Rudy's group, they managed to find a truck nearby, but it's locked. And that's when this annoying ass zombie dude comes running up behind them, and he hasn't really seen them yet, so they decide to hide and wait for him to bounce. But just when he's about to leave, Rudy's phone starts going off, and he just starts charging straight at them like a freaking spider monkey. Well, Rudy's able to fight him off, but then he just starts going after his son, Rayan, instead. So Carr grabs a rake from the back of the truck and hits this dude straight in the neck. It's still not enough to stop him, but that's when it starts to rain, and the dude immediately stops what he's doing and just stands there staring at the sky. I mean, my boy is over here feeling the rain on his skin like the rest is still unwritten. So they decide to dip out before he's done catching a vibe. A moment later, Ness finally gets her husband to pick up the phone, and they decide to meet up at the chief's house. But there's a problem here. My dude Bong has no idea how the hell to get there. So they have to wait for Rudy to pull up first and drop the Addy. It doesn't take long for them to find it, but guess what? It's the exact same spot where their boy just crashed the party. And by the time they get there, absolutely everybody at the function is straight tweaking till next weekend, if you know what I'm saying. So they decide to hide inside the house for now. But as soon as they turn their backs, their zombified broski grabs the housekeeper and starts chowing down on some neck meat. Like damn, all those years of loyalty just to go out like this. But there's nothing they can do to save her, so they decide to use her as a meat shield while the rest of them dip inside. Now when Bong and Ness pull up at the spot, they find the place is already looking like a damn zombie block party, and they can't see Rudy and the others, so this dummy actually starts honking the horn to get their attention. This might be the dumbest thing I've ever seen somebody do. Like, pause. What in the actual are you doing? And within a matter of seconds, every zombie at the party starts charging at them at full speed. So Bong has to throw it in reverse and get the out of there. But now the zombies that are chasing them just start going after everybody in town. Now, Nez must really not want to see her kid again, because what she just did makes my pet goldfish look like Jimmy Neutron. Like, how dumb do you have to be to start honking the horn when there's 50 zombies sitting right in front of you? I mean, you might as well start playing the ice cream truck music too, because you're basically door dashing yourself right to them. Yeah, but me though, see, I'm smart. So I understand simple concepts like zombies are attracted to sounds. So instead of completely blowing it just when they were about to find each other, I'd use just 1% of my brain to come up with a better plan. Like let's just look at the situation here. We've got a bunch of zombies sitting between us and the house, so there's no way to get through, right? But since they still don't know I was even there, I just called Rudy and told him to sneak back out of the house, then simply put it in reverse and meet him 10 feet down the road. Like, seriously, dude. You don't gotta be a brain surgeon to figure this one out. But Nez really said, nah, I know, I'll just make the situation 1,000 times worse. Like, wow, shorty, really smart thinking there. I'm being totally sarcastic, by the way. But even though she completely fumbled the bag, this creates another opportunity, because you see, she just lured all the zombies away from Rudy and the others. So if that's me, I'm gonna just sneak up out the house and get a whip and meet them somewhere else. And I'm obviously not gonna go for the totaled car because that's what a stupid person would do. But me, I'm gonna check the dead bodies for some keys, then hop on one of those scooters and scoot the f up out of there. But wait, I just had another brilliant idea. Because where others see problems, I see opportunities. And knowing that the zombies are attracted to sound made me realize that before we leave, I'm gonna get the DJ equipment and turn it on and start playing drill beats at max volume. Oh, block! Then all the zombies will come running to the same place when they hear Skrilla coming over the speakers, making it easy to avoid them and take them all out. But now that it's spreading all over the hood, it's only a matter of time before the government shows up and nukes them all into the Stone Age, so that's why I'm bouncing out of town before that shit happens. So, with most of the zombies gone, Rudy and the others make a run for the wrecked car, but it's completely totaled, and they ain't going nowhere unless it's on foot. And just to make things worse, that's when the housekeeper shows up looking for revenge. So they all dip to another house a little further up the street. The others run inside, but Rudy decides that he's gonna give this zombie the work for a change. So he picks up a weapon and gets ready for them to scrap. But the only problem is, he ain't exactly got that dog in him, so he almost gets his fade run right there on the spot. And somehow he actually manages to win the fight, but now he's absolutely covered in the woman's blood. And I think we all know what that means. Dude's about to go full zombie mode, just like the nanny. Well, meanwhile, Bong grabs the phone to check Google Maps, and he damn near crashes straight into a bus full of people. But as he swerves to avoid hitting them, he ends up hitting a damn cart and accidentally kickflips the Honda straight off the side of the road. Like, come on, bro, really? Texting and driving in the middle of a zombie apocalypse? No wonder you're the family disappointment. The bus driver gets out to go check on them, but these two don't even bother to warn him about the zombies that are about to roll up. And by the time they turn around, they're already swarming the front of the bus. Now you're probably thinking, just jump out and run away. But nah, they all just stand there without doing anything to protect themselves. And this dumbass bus driver actually starts running towards them. But then one of the zombies hits him with that Ray Lewis and turns my boy into a Lunchable. So Bong and Nez make a run for the police station, but they're in for some pretty bad news because these guys are literally the dumbest cops that ever walked the earth. But before we get to them, it's time to check on Rudy and see how he is holding up. My boy is not feeling too good, and as the reality sinks in of what's about to happen, he tells little Ray Ray that he needs to take over as the man of the house. The kid is obviously traumatized because he's like, what, 6 or 7? But he ain't seen nothing yet because a few seconds later, Pops starts going all rabies mode and starts chasing him around the crib. Now this little kid must be strong because, damn, look at little Ray Ray holding up a grown-ass man. Carr picks up a bottle and blasts old boy straight in the head, but this only makes Rudy even more pissed off. Then they try hiding in the next room, but just when it looks like they're done for, Zombie Dad blasts straight through the door and accidentally gets impaled on some kind of metal spike. And even though he's still attacking, they're able to trap him in the back for now. Okay, now I think it's safe to say this is officially the worst day of little Ray Ray's life. Like, first he had to watch his grandpa go all rabid and get popped in the dome, and now his dad's back there looking like something you'd see on Halloween. So yeah, he's gonna be spending a lot of time in therapy after this one. And honestly, the worst part is, little dude's dad went out like a scrub. Now don't forget, this guy was a cheater, so to keep it all the way 100, I ain't even really feeling all that bad for bro. But that doesn't mean that little Ray Ray deserves to grow up without a dad. And as a father, man, you gotta do better than that. Like, he deadass got bodied by an old lady. And that's not to mention she was already dead, so come on. How hard could it be just to murk her again? Now, right off the bat, I'm picking up a better weapon than whatever the hell that is. Like, I'm gonna grab that pitchfork that was sitting right there and just let her run face first right into it. Simple as pie on the 4th of July. Or I'd actually let Carr and Ray Ray run inside, then just circle around the house, get out of the zombie's view, and duck back in there. She'll probably just start looking around for a minute and then wander off towards the nearest sound, and I wouldn't even have to get my hands dirty. Now, this place looks like it has has pretty much everything they would need, so I would just get comfortable and post up here for a while, but there's a problem. We can't just have Zombie Dad back there making all kinds of noise, so unfortunately, he's gonna have to go. I mean, really though, Buddy should have done the right thing and just left on his own before it even got to this point. But now that he's a Zombo, it's time for Ray Ray to close his ears and get Grandma Carr back there and finish the job. The good news is he's stuck, so it won't be much of a threat, and she ain't even gotta look him in the eyes when she does it. Just hit him in the dome and try to think happy thoughts. Then they'll be safe to chill here unless things change. And as for the others, as soon as I get to that police station, I'm telling them there's a bunch of people eating each other right down the street. And when they go to check it out, I'm borrowing a car, going back for Ray Ray, and getting the f up out of town while I still have the chance. Back at the police station, Bong and Ness come rushing in looking for some help, but instead of just saying what happened, they're all standing there like, there's no time to explain. Like, you guys, just say that they're zombies. I mean, it's really that simple. And meanwhile, back at the house, the girl Ningse from the beginning of the movie finds the others hiding in her crib, but they still got that zombie dad tweaking out in the back room. The officers pull up and suit up and ride out there, nuts and bolts, to go check the damage out, but these zombies just start charging straight at them the moment they show up, and there's nothing they can do to slow them down. They try backing up, oh yeah, they try, but the zombies just start eating them alive, and when the chief finally pulls out his revolver, he ends up just wasting every shot and getting jumped just like his boys. Now there's only one officer left, and it's none other than our boy Ram from back at the beginning. He still has got no idea what's going on, but that's when the chief comes running back to the station with the zombies chasing after him. Like, wow, bro. Thanks a lot for the help. Well, they are able to block the door with a filing cabinet, but the chief here is not looking too hot. And by the time that Ram's done calling for an ambulance, this dude gets up and just starts glitching in the corner like a lost NPC. Now, Ram still doesn't get what's happening, but as soon as old boy turns around, Bong grabs the blicky and blasts him 4 times in the chest. This leaves dude shocked because he thinks that they just slimed his boss, but that's when Buddy gets back up and starts going after them again, and they finally work together to trap him inside the cell. But they're not safe yet because the place is absolutely surrounded by zombies, so they decide to call for backup from the nearest station. Now Nez is worried that Rudy is not picking up the phone, but on the bright side, I guess her divorce just got a lot cheaper. But that's when she gets a call from an unknown number, and she's surprised to hear that it's Karina calling from the other girl's phone. She's relieved to find out that little Ray Ray is still alright, but he's worried and starts asking when she is coming back. But Nez doesn't want to tell him how bad things really are, so she promises to come find him as soon as she can. When she asks about her husband, she's horrified to learn that he is already cooked up, but Bong takes the phone and tells Karina where they are. He says they're gonna wait for backup and then come rescue her and Ray Ray, but I've got some bad news for you, buddo, because help ain't never showing up. Alright, so yeah, usually calling for help is exactly what you would want to do, but if these other officers are as smooth-brained as the last guys, they're probably making things even worse. Needless to say, we shouldn't even be in this situation to begin with, but with the proper strat, 4 cops should easily be able to take down a bunch of zombies. Like, for real. I don't even care if there's 50 of them. You got riot gear, shotguns, dirt bikes. I mean, how could you possibly f that up? Now, I'm not sure what strategy they were going for here, but as soon as I pulled up and saw the bus getting turned into a Meals on Wheels, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Just spread out, up the blicky, and start popping headshots. And if there's too many, just hop on the bikes and get back to the station and grab some more ammo. Nice and simple. But now they're gonna need a plan for when the other guys get there. But first things first, they need to get rid of the chief. I mean, having him there is just a liability, and the last thing we need is bro getting out and causing any more trouble. Then we can move all the food and water into the cell, and if anything goes wrong, I can just post up in there where the zombies can't get me. Yeah, so that's step 1. Step 2 is to get ready to bail, but this should be easy peasy. Now, we already know the zombies are attracted to noise, and these officers have a big-ass batch of fireworks, so what I'm gonna do is bring them all up to the roof, and then when I see the other guys coming, I'll start firing them off in the opposite direction, and that should clear a path for me to get out of there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna slide more furniture in front of the doors and windows, then get everyone some riot gear and a rifle, go up on the roof, and just start thinning out the crowd. That way, by the time the boys show up, half of the zombies can already be toast, and then we can dip without any trouble. Now, things at the station are already getting pretty bad, and Rom needs the others' help just to hold the door, but this place is not going to hold up forever. And that's when they hear the other officers calling over the radio. It sounds like they haven't even made it past the outskirts of town, and all of a sudden, the call cuts out as the officers open fire. But they don't last long before the zombies swarm in and tear them apart. The others grab a ladder and climb up to the loft, but all they see is their backup getting turned into zombie chow. And now they're completely surrounded with nowhere left to run. So Nez calls up Karina to tell her the bad news, and they both start reminiscing about the good times they used to have as kids. You know, before Karina went and banged her best friend's dad. I mean, they're both sorry for how it all turned out, but besides her brother, Car's the closest thing to family she's got left. So she makes her promise to take care of little Ray Ray just in case she doesn't make it. So now we've got Bong and Rom up on the roof trying to come up with another plan. That's when the sunset call to prayer lures all the zombies back towards town, and Bong realizes that these freaks are attracted to noise. Well, lucky for them, they just confiscated a huge batch of fireworks earlier that week, so Rom grabs one and sends it off into the field, and sure enough, the zombies go running after it like a bunch of dogs chasing a frisbee, which gives Rom another idea. He figures they can use the fireworks as a distraction so they can sneak up to the bikes and dip out, but first, they gotta get ready. So it's back down to the armory to put on some badass riot gear. Like, finally these dudes are actually doing something smart. Now Nez gets a little bit worried, but the boys are convinced that it's the only way, so they all grab some heat and get ready to fight their way out. Before they leave, Rom calls Nez to let her know what's good, but now there's even more zombies outside than before. It's officially time to nut up or shut up, so Rom cracks the door and gets ready to launch a firework, but Buddy genuinely fumbles it at the last second, and the noise just calls even more zombies to the party. This time he grabs a Roman candle and actually manages to get it right, and once the zombies are gone, they sneak out of the building and start going for the bikes. But there's more zombies blocking the road up ahead, so Rom ups the rifle and sends one of them back to the lobby. That's when they finally realize that they need to aim for the head. Like, bruh, did it really take you this long? I mean, the movie's almost over already, but now all the noise is calling the rest of the zombies straight towards them, and they end up trapped inside the middle of the horde with nothing but their riot shields holding them back. Okay, stop. Now, I think I actually just lost IQ points for just watching this shit. Like, that was legit one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and honestly, I'm just surprised they even made it this far. But now they're about to be turned into a zombie sandwich, and all I can think is, y'all done f***ed up. Like, bro, how are we still struggling here? These are zombies. Zombies. That's like a 2 on the danger scale. And y'all are over here making this shit look hard. First of all, you're acting like you just found out about headshots when you literally one-tapped your old man just a few hours ago. And what's the point of having all these straps if you ain't gonna use them? Like, you literally had a silenced sniper rifle. So how was nobody on the roof popping headshots this entire time? I mean, at least use it to take some zombies out before you run for it. But nah, let's just fire off one Roman candle and hope for the best. Are we serious? You're really just gonna leave the other ones behind? Like, put on a backpack and take some with you so you can distract the zombies, guy? Or, you know, just end up trapped 10 feet down the road if that's what you want to do instead. Well, not even I have a solution for this one. So really, what else is there to say besides you guys are f***ing up? Now, they all start spraying into the crowd as the zombies swarm all around them, but the weight of this many bodies is making it hard to breathe. And for every one they take down, 20 more just keep showing up. Meanwhile, back at the house, zombie Rudy finally gets free and starts trying to break out, but the noise of him attacking actually calls even more zombies straight towards them. So the girls do their best to hold them off until they finally start coming through the windows. But just when it looks like they're all about to die, that's when the good old rain finally comes back, and all the zombies just start catching a vibe, giving Nez and her peeps a chance to sneak back to the bikes. At the house, the girls push the door open and see the zombies out there hitting the Joker dance in the pouring rain. It looks like they're safe for now, but they need to get out of there before the rain stops. So they decide to dip out on Ning's scooter, and while they're struggling to fire it up, Rudy finally breaks free and starts coming after them, but they're able to get it started just in time, so they head off towards the station to go find the others. Now Nez's group almost makes it to the bikes when the rain suddenly stops, and they end up getting separated as the zombies start attacking. One of them tackles Nez to the ground, but she uses her blicky to fight it off, but now she's out of ammo, so her only choice is to run for her life. But instead of taking one of the motorcycles that are literally right there, she just runs straight past them and starts booking it down the road. Like, you do you, I guess. So the boys manage to duck back into the station, but Nez here decides to take cover inside the abandoned truck. The only problem is, she doesn't know how to drive stick. So she just ends up trapped in a giant lunchbox with the zombies trying to get in, and it looks like she's not gonna make it. But that's when the others pull up and see the zombies zombies surrounding the truck. Ningsa starts trying to turn around, but now the bike won't start, and the noise ends up attracting the zombies straight towards them. But just when it looks like they're about to get swarmed, Nez pulls out a Roman candle and starts firing it into the field. This gets rid of the zombies long enough for Nez to get her son, but then one of their zombified friends shows up and starts attacking them, so Ningsa whips out some kind of dagger and turns her brains into shish kebab. Now they've got even more zombies coming after them, so they jump in the truck and start speeding back towards the station. Car hits the gas and starts turning them all into speed bumps, but as they start turning into the station, she realizes that she's got no brakes. And there's no way to slow down as they pull a Kool-Aid man straight through the front door. Now the building's destroyed, the truck is screwed, and worst of all, my boy Bong got his leg crushed during the accident. So yeah, if I were Bong, I would be f***ing mad right now. And they don't even have long before the zombies find a way in. Alright, now at this point, I don't know what's more dangerous, the zombies or their driving skills. But y'all, I ain't even worried about it because I already figured out a plan. But there's one thing we need to get out of the way first, and that's that my boy Bang? Yeah, sorry buddy, but he is not coming along. Like, even if they somehow got him out, what's he gonna do? Run? If they wanted him to survive, maybe they shouldn't have run him over with the damn truck. So honestly, it's time to say their goodbyes and keep it pushing. For me though, the first thing I'm gonna do is head straight to the armory and grab some riot gear and then any straps that they got left. Then I'm loading up the backpack with a bunch of fireworks and climbing up to the roof, but this is where the plan gets good. Because if the place has fire sprinklers, then I'm gonna set them off once the zombies get inside. Then they'll all start vibing out just like in the rain, and I'll climb down from the back and split. Otherwise, I'll just use them fireworks to distract them and run in the opposite direction. And then it's off to the airport to catch the first flight out of the country, and bam! Zombie apocalypse survived. Easy as that. So Rom and Nez have to fall back to the holding cell while the others are still trying to save Bong. It looks like they can escape through the back door, but no matter how hard they try, they can't get Bong's leg out from under the truck. Meanwhile, Ningsa gets too close to the cell and ends up getting chomped by the zombie police chief. Rom spins around and blows dude's head off, but it's already too late, and as he pulls out the pistol to make his last stand, the zombie finally corner them in. Bong's out of ammo as well, and that's when good old zombie Rudy starts going after the kid, but Nez holds him back until Karina finally puts one in his dome. Oh yeah, it's safe to say that little Ray Ray, he gonna need some therapy, but it ain't over yet because the zombies are still breaking in, and Uncle Bong, he ain't making it out of this alive. Back in the other room, Rom finally takes out the ring and puts it on his wifey's finger as they're both being eaten alive. Aww, I guess dreams really do come true, but yeah, they're both dead as hell. With no other choice, Bong tells the others to run for it as he pulls out a firework and waits for the zombies to swarm in before dropping it into a puddle of gas and setting off a massive explosion. Well, I guess you could say he went out with a bong. Anyways, but as the others get to the motorcycles, Nez suddenly stops, and when they ask her what's wrong, uh-oh. It looks like it really was till death do us part after all, because good old zombie Rudy gives her a little love bite back at the station. Like damn, bruh was really the worst dad ever, and it looks like my boy Ray Ray is about to become an orphan. So Nez gets down in front of him and tries her best to explain what has to happen. She promises to find him again if she ever gets better, but right now they gotta get the f up out of there while they still have the chance. So after saying her last goodbyes to little Ray Ray, she pulls Car in for a hug and tells her that the kid is her problem now. It kinda seems like the least she can do after hooking up with her dad, so Karina promises that she'll take care of him. But suddenly Nez reaches down to her waistband and takes the strap. The others don't want to say goodbye, but it looks like time is up because they've got 100 zombies headed their way. So while Car hops on the bike and slowly drives away, Nez takes out her last Roman candle and starts walking into the field. It's enough to keep them distracted while the others escape, but once it runs out, she pulls out the old pistola and gives herself the cure, if you catch my drift. But the zombies are still out there, and guess what? That wasn't even the only sample, because somewhere in the heart of Jakarta, the old man's business partner just took her first sip of juice, and they're about to catch a flight. So I guess Ray Ray and Grandma Car aren't safe after all. But on the bright side, at least now he'll never have to watch his parents get divorced. The Elixir, yo, tight movie, and I'm so glad we got a fire-ass zombie movie. In 2025, we needed one, bruh. Some dumb decisions made, so you gotta let me know down in the comments if you guys would have done anything differently. As for me, I'm totally beating that zombie apocalypse day one. But yeah, you guys already know what the deal is. Leave a like and subscribe, and check out that How to Beat playlist for more videos just like this one. I'm the guy. We'll see you in the next video, and have a damn good day.